Appreciate you being here, and this will be the entire news briefing for today. So when you visit, we'll open it up for any question that you might have. As part of the Wichita Police Department's community engagement and transparency efforts, we've committed to keeping the public updated on progress related to the department's organizational assessment. We want to keep you informed about the ongoing improvements that we've been implementing. And so today we're going to tell you about the significant progress we've made with the body-worn cameras and body-worn camera policy. And I will tell you this, there is not an administrative policy ever that's been implemented in the city of Wichita that's gone through this much scrutiny. And so I think it's been healthy. We've had a lot of input from a lot of different groups and organizations. And so to share all of those details, we're going to call on the Interim Chief Nelson Mosley to explain where we're at and what's going on. Chief?
As the mayor said, we've had significant work done as the interim chief, or as I've been the interim chief. Wichita Police Department has been working diligently to move issues from paper to practice. For example, with the help of diverse community partners, we've made significant strides in the pretext stop policy, the Community Advisory Board, recruiting, and communication and public education. Regarding the pretext stop policy, we have conducted research and legal opinions on how to approach pretext stops and how to document them. We expect soon to have a sound policy regarding pretext stops, and we will share that as well with the public. On the subject of the Community Advisory Board, a framework for how that citizen board will operate has been thoroughly discussed. We are waiting now for the new police chief to come aboard to finalize it. The new chief will be a critical component to the success of the new board. As far as recruiting, our recruiting efforts continue to be a major challenge and a goal for law enforcement, including the Wichita Police Department. We have identified several strengths and weaknesses in the current recruiting process. We are reviewing changes in the initial testing instrument and identifying new methods to provide better communication to our candidates. We want to do a better job of reflecting the makeup of our community by recruiting more females and minorities, and we are planning to hire an ad agency as well that will create an effective campaign which appeals to diverse candidates. The ad campaign will launch in 2016. Regarding communication and public education, we have received best practices for communicating with the public, especially during a crisis or critical incident involving an officer. We want to more effectively use social media, traditional media, and our department website to engage and inform residents about the Wichita Police Department and public safety. Now that I've given you a recap of some of the progress that we have going with the department, I want to share some exciting news about the body-worn cameras. This is a public safety and transparency effort at the top of WPD priorities. In late 2014, former Mayor Carl Brewer promised cameras by the end of 2015. Now following are some significant milestones in that area. Interim Deputy Chief Gavin Seiler has been a key staffer in reviewing and implementing this program. Here with him today is Captain Brian White, who has also been working on the project since the very beginning. I want to turn the podium over to Chief Seiler for him to talk about the body-worn camera policy, training, and also have a demonstration. Gavin?
Today, we're excited to have begun the rollout of the body-worn camera project. Our sincere thanks to everyone and the entire Wichita community for the unprecedented engagement and cooperation in making body-worn cameras a reality for the Wichita Police Department. Today, the Wichita Police Department will be releasing the body-worn camera policy. It's a 9-page policy addressing 74 individual points. The policy outlines operational use, operational use and training, victim and witness privacy, viewing of video and in the release of the video and many other areas. This policy was developed by the Wichita Police Department with the assistance of the City Manager's Office as well as the Law Department. The Fraternal Order of Police was given an opportunity to review this policy as well and to comment on it. Finally, there were a number of public interest groups and stakeholders who were also given the opportunity to review the policy and to provide comment, along with the Wichita Police Department staff. Those agencies include Sunflower Community Action, the Racial Profiling Board, the NAACP, ACLU of Kansas, Wichita Independent Neighborhood Association, as well as Representative Gail Finney and Senator Aletha Faust-Godot. The meetings were unprecedented in the police community relations. They included productive discussions on a wide range of topics, including, but not limited to, input on why certain things were put into the policy and others were not, privacy rights, victims' rights, as well as criminal records and investigation processes. We found that we shared a commitment to be as transparent as possible in the use of body-worn cameras while still balancing other important values. Public values such as public safety, integrity of criminal investigations, and privacy rights. We expect that there will be in excess of 10,000 videos released next year. This policy and process puts the City of Wichita and our police department on the cutting edge of the deployment of the body-worn cameras. It's taken a lot of work to get to this point, but there's still a lot of work to do. Now we need to see how it works and continue to work together going forward to for the betterment of our community. As far as the implementation of the cameras, Patrol North is the first bureau that has been outfitted with body-worn cameras. The officers have been trained in the policy and the use of the cameras. The use of the cameras has begun, and the citizens will soon be seeing them on the streets. We will move our next efforts to the Patrol East Bureau for the implementation of the training piece coming there very soon. It is our goal to meet the December 31st deadline to outfit all patrol officers with the body-worn cameras. That is assuming that federal funding is made available. The demonstration we're going to do here for you today, I brought in Captain Brian White. He will provide that as well as Officer Baird to provide you what the camera looks like and how it functions. So I'll turn it over to Captain White.
I've got a kit here that has all the pieces and parts of the system. You know, I'll discuss with those. I'll discuss those with you here. Really, the camera system has three pieces that are the important components here. The first part is the camera system itself. This small camera will be worn on the officer's head most of the time during their shift when they're capturing video. This is the on-off switch. It is also the battery pack for the system. And this is a handheld device that Bluetooth to this system itself where you're able to mark the video. Officer Baird is wearing the system now. Officers will wear the camera on their head. There are a few different head-mounted options that the officers wear. This one that we're showing here is the Oakley camera mounting system. The officers, again, will wear it on their head. The on-off switch, Officer Baird is wearing on his chest. The officers can wear that on their belt or in an area where they can easily access it. And then the handheld device, officers can wear in one of their pockets on their vest, or they can wear it carry it in their trousers. Do we want to open it up for questions now?
Yes.
All right. Does anybody have any questions?
How many officers have them at Patrol North?
All officers will have them. Obviously, that depends on our complete staffing, but 106 is what our full staffing is.
Okay. So how many cameras did you get?
106 for the Patrol North, yep.
And are they in operation then right now?
We started training about a week and a half ago. So it'll take us about 3 weeks to train all the officers at the Patrol North Station. So right now we're about halfway through.
And then they'll start using them?
As soon as they finish with the training that day, they are equipped and ready to go.
How many officers would you say are using them now? Or I guess the first will start using them about a week and a half from now.
We're halfway done, so I would estimate about 55.
What's the protocol for when they're turned on and when they're turned off?
We got the policy here in front of you. If you want to flip, you can, I can't remember exactly which page it's on. You'll see a list of times in which the officer is required to turn the camera on.
It's the 24th subsection.
Okay, thank you.
So each officer will have their own camera, is that correct?
Correct. After you wear the camera, you have to download the video that you have. And you also have to recharge the battery. So we want to make sure that every officer has their camera ready to go when their shift starts. Therefore, every officer needs a camera.
Just going through the training, I guess, what do you think of them so far?
They're very beneficial to both us and the citizens. I was one of the first officers selected to test the first model of this that the city got in 2011. I've worn it off and on since, but I've worn it consistently for a little over this system for a little over a year now. I've become well versed in the operation of it. Having it on helps me, and it helps the citizens feel more comfortable, and I think it changes how citizens interact with officers and keeping things a little more.
Have you found in this year that you kind of get used to it being there, like you don't even think about it sometimes, or kind of describe how it's sort of added to what you have?
Sure. The first week or two is a little bit takes some getting used to having it on the glasses. The camera itself is not very heavy, but with it on the head and on the glasses do tip a little bit. You can kind of see the tip of the lens on the right side there, but after a week or two, like I said, you get used to it. As far as turning it on when arriving on a call or contacting a citizen, it's become muscle memory that I just come up and I just tap my button twice and begin recording.
And how are they reacting? It's got to be, they're probably pretty curious too when you go to a call.
Over the last year, most citizens don't even notice it on my face. Since it's become bigger within media and people are hearing more about them, I do get a lot of questions. Are those the cameras? And they ask me how it works. They seem to like it.
They probably say, is it on? Are you recording?
They do, yes.
And is there audio too? I might have missed that.
Yes, it is video audio recording. Tell them about the buffer.
Sure.
When it's powered on, it's constantly buffering. It's a 30-second loop. So when I activate an event, it goes back to that prior 30 seconds and picks up what I saw before that. That is video only. There is no audio to that first 30 seconds. But after the event is started, you do get video and audio recording.
Do you have to look down to see that it's recording, or how do you know it's recording?
Sure.
Pushing it twice?
I push it twice. When I push it, it beeps twice in my ear. It's a kind of a loud beep. I can demonstrate it if you'd like to hear it. Then every 2 minutes, it beeps again in my ear to remind me. Looking down, I have a indicator that's green when it's in buffer mode, and it flashes red when it's recording or in event mode.
Are there incidents since you've been using it that you found yourself later going, man, I'm glad I had that on camera, for lack of a better way to put it?
Yes. One of the parts of policy is to help review possible complaints from citizens. And that can be a lengthy process from getting a statement from the officer, getting a statement from witnesses, and from the complainant themselves. Having the video on can resolve that much quicker.
And it's not that hard for you once you do record. I remember you showing me this before, using your cell phone or whatever to take the clips and put them into your file, however it downloads, right? Because once you gather all the information, it's not that hard for you to then process it to the next step.
Right. Once you get used to it, if you're kind of tech savvy with touchscreen phones, it's a matter of seconds. There's 3 sections. There's an ID where we put the case number, if there is one, or the citation number. There's a title that we just put a brief description of what the video is, and then you have a drop-down menu where you select the appropriate category. And then you hit save, and you're ready to go to your next call.
And I know you said it's page 3, just talking about when it's on, but, and I'm reading through these, do you just basically turn it on whenever you are on a call? Like if you're going to check something, going to knock on a door, making a vehicle stop, you just automatically always turn it on?
Personally, yes. If I'm getting out of my car and responding to a call, then I do turn it on. There's no telling what may happen when I step out of my vehicle. So for my safety, the camera is on when I get out of my car before making contact with anybody.
Could somebody tell me about the cost? I mean, you mentioned federal dollars. How much federal money are we counting on, and how much city money is going into this?
That's why I stepped in.
The entire cost of the project is $2.2 million over the course of 5 years. The federal grant that we applied for is for $250,000.
And you hope that's a yearly?
No, that'll be a one-time.
That's just a
We have,
one-time?
yes, we have to have matching funds
Okay.
to receive the grant.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a 50-50 match, wasn't it?
Yes.
Correct.
So at the end of each officer's shift, are they responsible in downloading the videos out?
There's a docking station for all the cameras. There's a docking station for all the cameras. So each officer will have their slot for their battery to recharge it, and each officer has a slot to put their camera in. So they'll stick it in the docking station, head home. While they're at home and away from work, the camera will stream the video and load it, and then the battery will be recharged.
Mayor, I was going to ask you if you don't.
Well, and let me add to that. That's the reason why we have one camera for every officer and not a camera on board for the shifts of officers. So every single officer has their own camera so that we ensure that that kind of, number one, the battery is going to get recharged and the information is going to get streamed automatically. It's not about, well, we had a shift change, they grabbed my camera and we lost the information. Every officer has their own camera.
Mayor, I was just going to ask you, I mean, obviously the department, this is a whole new shift, but for the city, it's also a big change. Can you talk about, venturing into this new realm of things and what it's taken from on the city side to make this happen?
I mean, the reality is it's another opportunity for us to improve our communique with all of our citizens. And so we're looking forward to this opportunity. And I might mention, I didn't get a chance to, we have a couple other council members here, Councilmember Pete Meissner and Councilmember Brian Fry. City manager was able to make it. The council is very much in favor of this. In fact, I could envision the council starting to use body cameras every time that we have to interact with the city manager. we think
Is
it's
that on the agenda?
we think that it's a good step in improving our communications with all of the citizens. And truly being able to sometimes have a better position. I mean, the reality is we have people that accuse our officers of a wide variety of things. We now have video and audio information that shares that, and that's not he said, she said anymore.
And really, we stand out as a community to do this and to roll it out.
We're one of the first large cities to be able to roll this out, and I'm sure that there will be other communities that are looking at Wichita and what we're doing and take that information from us, and we're fine with that. We're good with helping any of our cities, and that's one of the things I learned on my trip to Greenville, and I thought it was getting this off topic here, but one of the beauties of the trip to Greenville, and their mayor was very gracious, whether it's issues with public safety or issues in economic development. One of the things that myself and the Greenville mayor agree on, our cities need to be great for America to be great again. And we're all in it together. Well, this does conclude both the mayoral briefing and the police department's briefing this morning, and we appreciate you being here, and Deb Ferris's suggestion to combine them. You get credit. So thank you all.